Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is April 17th. Kevin McGonigle gets an extension, and Mike Trout is still Mike Trout. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? We are midway through the first month of the season, and boy, were we treated to a great week of baseball. I feel like there is so much to talk about, so many great things that happened over this past week. Man, I just want to get right on into it. So with that being said, let's jump into our series recap. Things off by finishing up last weekend. Astros and Mariners finished up a 4-game set. Mariners took the first 3 games. They will take all 4. Josh Naylor, a 2-homer day for him. He drives in 5. Mariners get that 4-game sweep, 6-2 the final. On to this week, we go D-backs and Oilers to lead us off. Ketel Marte, Nolan Arenado both hitting 2-homer games to put them up by 6. But Baltimore goes on to score 8 unanswered. Jeremiah Jackson, 2-homer game for him, including a grand slam, and Pete Alonso, a go-ahead home run, his second of the year. Baltimore, a comeback win, 9-7 the final. Ildemaro Vargas hits a go-ahead 3-run home run off of Trevor Rogers to put the D-backs up and win this one 4-3. And in that final game, Jeremiah Jackson hitting his 3rd homer of this series. This one goes to extras where Adrian Del Castillo hits a 2-run home run to help the D-backs take the game and this series 8-5 the final. Angels and Yankees played 4, and we were treated to one hell of a game. Trent Grisham, Aaron Judge, Mike Trout all hitting 2-homer games. Trent Grisham's second of the game tied it in the 9th, which set up a walk-off walk for Ryan McMahon as the Yankees win this thriller 11-10. Trout, Adele, and Soler hit back-to-back homers in the first, as Walter Peraza and Yoel Moncada both homered later. It's all Halo 7-1. Game 3, Adam Frazier, Logan O'Hoppe, they get their first homers of the year. Mike Trout continues his heater with another homer, as does Aaron Judge, who goes deep again. The Yankees walk it off again on a 2-run double from Jose Caballero to win it 5-4. And in the last game, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and Ben Rice, they all go deep for the Yankees. Peraza goes deep again for the Halos. Joe Adele hits a grand slam, and Mike Trout hits his 5th homer of the series. Insane stuff for him as the Angels win it 11-4, splitting the 4-game set 2 apiece with the Yankees. Red Sox and Twins. The Twins jump crochet with 10 earned runs and 11 runs in the first 2 innings, 4 in the first and 7 more in the second. Victor Caratini, Ryan Kreidler, Ryan Jeffers, and Byron Buxton all homering in a 13-6 Twins win. Following his first homer of the year, Byron Buxton hits 2 more in the second game, bringing his total to 3 on the year, as did Brooks Lee as he hits his 3rd homer of the season in a 6-0 Twins win. Austin Martin, Ryan Kreidler, they both go deep for the Twins in the 3rd game, but the Sox score 5 in the 3rd, including a homer from Trevor Story as they avoid the sweep. Red Sox win it 9-5. Rays and White Sox. Noah Schultz, the 6'10 lefty, makes his major league debut, but he's opened up with 3 in the first. The Rays would add 2 more in the 6th and 2 more in the 7th, as Shane McClanahan earns his first MLB win since June 16th, 2023. That's right, Rays with an 8-5 victory. Caminero, Jake Fraley, Johnny DeLuca all going deep for the Rays in an 8-3 victory. And down by 1 in the last game, Junior Caminero hits a game-tying homer in the 9th. The Rays add 2 more on bases-loaded walks as they steal this one and sweep the White Sox with a 5-3 victory. Royals and Tigers. Now the Tigers come back, scoring 2 runs in the 8th. Dingler driving in an RBI double to lead it to 2-1. 1-1 in the 8th in Game 2. It's Wencel Perez hitting the go-ahead homer Tigers with another 2-1 victory, and in this last game, the Tigers scored 4 in the 5th, including a Dylan Dingler home run. The Royals responded with 6 runs in the 7th, including a 3-run home run from the captain, Salvador Perez. Vinny Pasquantino hits his first homer of the year. Tigers enter the 9th down by 2. Riley Green, the game-tying 2 RBI double, followed by a walk-off single from Colt Keith as the Tigers come back to complete the sweep 10-9 the final. Rockies and Astros, Hunter Goodman has a 2-homer game. The Astros score 6 in the 3rd, and Walker hits his 4th of the year. The Astros with a 7-6 victory. Yordan Alvarez clubs his 7th homer on the season for a 3-1 Astros win, and Hunter Goodman is at it again. He homers as the Rockies score 3 unanswered to come back and take a 3-2 victory to avoid the sweep from Houston. Rangers and A's would play for. Jake Berger has a 2-homer game as Nathan Eovaldi shoves. The Rangers take the opener 8-1. Jacob Wilson comes through with a 2 RBI single for the lead in the 3rd inning. That would stay that way as the A's take a 2-1 victory. Shea Langoliers, Jacob Wilson, they both go deep in a 6-5 A's win. And in the last game, Josh Young hit homer number 1. The Rangers entered the 9th down by 1, but proceed to score 4 to come back and win it 9-6 Texas as the Rangers and A's split the 4-game set 2 apiece. Marlins and Braves. The Marlins score 3 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and 3 in the 6th. Augustine Ramirez and Connor Norby homering for the Marlins in a 10-4 victory. The Braves down 2 in the 8th. Dominic Smith comes through with a bases clearing go-ahead 3-run double for the lead as that hit makes it 6-5 Braves, the final in that one. And in the last game, it's Ozzie Albies, it's Austin Riley, and it's Matt Olson all going deep in a 6-3 Braves win to take 2 of 3 from the Finns. Cubs and Phillies now. Schwarber, a 2-homer game for him. The Phillies add 5 in the 5th and win it by 6, 13-7 the final. The Cubs return the favor also by winning it by 6. Carson Kelly goes deep. The Cubs score 4 in the 6th to take the lead. 10-4 Cubs the final in this one. And in the road match, it's the known power hitters on the Cubs. Nico Horner, Dansby Swanson, they both go deep. Phillies get 2 solo shots from Turner and Harper, but the Cubs scored 11 runs. 11-2 the final in that one. Cubs take 2 of 3. Nats and Pirates. Now, this was a very good 4-game series. Spencer Horwitz opens it up, his first homer of the season, and then the Buccos really opened it up. 10 runs in the 6th, including Brandon Lau, a 3-run homer. 16-5 the final. Pirates take the opener. The Nats score 3 in the 1st. They add later with a CJ Abrams homer, his 2nd of the series. Brandon Lau, he homers again, his 7th of the season, but the Nationals take a 5-4 victory. The Pirates would play 2 in the 1st on some singles, and those are the only runs of the 3rd game as the Pirates win it 2-0. And in the last game, the Nationals score 4 in the 5th, so the Pirates score 5 in the 5th, including a 3-run home run from Marcell Ozuna. The Nats would then retake the lead. Then the Pirates take the lead. Then the Nats retake the lead. Then the Pirates tie it in the 9th thanks to Brandon Lau. That one sends it to extras where James Wood gets an RBI single for the Nationals. And then they hold the Pirates. The Nats get the back and forth extras win. 8-7 the final. That was a good way to split the 4-game set 2 apiece. Guardians and Cardinals now. Angel Martinez, Brian Rocchio both going deep for the Guardians. Jordan Walker hits his 8th homer of the season. It's 9-3 Cleveland, though. They win that one. Into Game 2, it's Jose Ramirez and Daniel Schneemann homering for the Guardians. But Ivan Herrera goes deep for the Cardinals, as does J.J. Weatherholt, who has a 2-homer game for homers number 2 and 3 on the season. This one goes to extras, and after holding the Guardians in the 10th, Nathan Church gets the walk-off sac fly. The Cardinals win it 6-5, and in that last game, the Cardinals score 3 in the 6th. They take the lead and get some insurance runs. 5-3 St. Louis. They take 2 of 3 from the Guardians. Blue Jays and Brewers now. The Blue Jays down 1. They score 3 in the 9th for the lead, but the Brewers hang on with 2 to tie it. We go to extras. The Jays add 3 in the 10th, hold the Brewers to just 1. They take a 9-7 win in extras. In the next game, the Brewers play small ball. They get some lucky bloops and infield singles in the 8th, score 2 runs and take the lead, leading to a 2-1 victory. And they would do the same in the 3rd game. They take the lead on a sac bunt in the 7th, and that's good enough for the win. Another 2-1 victory as the Brewers take 2 of 3 from the Blue Jays. Giants and Reds, Spencer Steer, Sal Stewart, they both hit solo shot homers, as does Willie Adames. Those 3 solo shots, the only runs in this game. Reds take a 2-1 victory. Sal Stewart, he gets a 2-homer game. He gets a 3-run homer in the 1st, and then Eugenio Suarez gets his 3rd homer of the season. Sal Stewart's 2-homer game means he's up to 7 on the year, 1 ahead of Eddie De La Cruz, who hits his 6th of the year. It's all Cincinnati in an 8-3 victory. In the last game, the Giants would play 3 in the 7th with a Matt Chapman double as well as 2 singles. The bench is clear at the ending of this one. Little chit-chat, nothing doing there. Giants a 3-0 victory to avoid the sweep from Cincy. Mets and Dodgers. Andy Pages a 3-run homer as Justin Robleski shoves for 8 innings. Dodgers with a 4-0 victory. Lindor finally gets on the board, his first homer of the season. The Dodgers, though, take the lead in the 8th on a Kyle Tucker single for a 2-1 victory. And in that last game, Hai-Sung Kim homers, Oscar Hernandez homers, Kyle Tucker homers, and Dalton Rushing hits a grand slam. It's all LA as they sweep the Mets, an 8-2 victory for the Dodgers. Lastly, we get Mariners and Padres. The Padres score 3 in the 3rd with singles from Tatis and Xander Bogaerts, enough for a 4-1 victory. The Mariners led Game 2 by 6 after Luke Raley hit his home run. The Padres would score 2 in the 6th on a Xander Bogaerts 2-run home run. They would enter the 9th down 4 and proceeded to score 5 runs as Jackson Merrill is the hero, delivers the nail in the coffin. A 2-run double for the win. The Padres come back and win it 7-6. They then scored 4 runs in the 2nd as all things point San Diego's way as they get another sweep, 5-2 over the Mariners. And that's your series recap. Man, almost timed it up with the song there. That would have been awesome. I think the first time I would have ever done that in 300 episodes. Anyways, let's talk about the game of the week, or should I say games, because I've picked out 6 absolute heaters of baseball games. That's what I'm talking about. We had great baseball all week long. Let's jump into these really quickly here. The first one happened on Monday between Arizona and Baltimore. Ketel Marte opens it up, a leadoff bomb, his 3rd of the year. Top 3, he does it again. 2 solo shot, 2 homers for Marte. He's up to 4 on the season. It's all Arizona. Gunnar Henderson gets an RBI triple in the bottom of the 3rd. And then Nolan Arenado, his first Diamondbacks home run on the season, a 2-run shot. 2 innings later, top 6, it's Nolan Arenado again, a 3-run shot, as those 4 Diamondback home runs from Arenado and Marte had Arizona up 7-1. But in the bottom of the 6th, here comes Baltimore. Leody Taveras, an RBI single. Jeremiah Jackson then hits a grand slam. Baltimore scores 5, and it's a 1-run game. Bottom 7, how about Pete Alonso, the polar bear, hitting out a 2-run go-ahead homer to another polar bear in the stands. His 2nd of the year puts Baltimore up 8-7 after they were down by 6. Bottom of the 8th, Jeremiah Jackson hits his 2nd homer of the game, his 3rd on the season. 9-7 Baltimore, that's the final, and that is one of the games there. Also on Monday, the Angels and Yankees played an absolute thriller. I mean, if you had to pick one of the games, I would have probably been this one, but there were just so many great ball games. Aaron Judge opens the scoring in the bottom of the first with a 2-run homer, his 5th on the season. Jose Caballero then jumps on a 2-run shot, his first of the season. It's 4-0 New York. Top 4, Angels get on the board. Jorge Soler an RBI double, followed by Joe Adell RBI single. Logan O'Hoppe then gets an RBI single, and with the bases loaded, Zach Neto would walk. So the Angels in the 4th inning score 4 and tie this one up. Bottom 5, Trent Grisham. He gets on the board. His first homer of the season's a 3-run shot to put the Yankees up within 3. But don't fret. Top 6, it's Mike Trout with 2 runners on. He hits a game-tying 3-run shot. It's 7-7, his 3rd of the year. Bottom 6, Yankees get the lead back. Aaron Judge, his 2nd homer of the game, is 6th on the season, puts the Yankees back up within 1. Top 7, Josh Lowe, a sac fly. It's 8-8. Josh Lowe, excuse me. Brandon Lau, Josh Lowe. That's how I was have to do it. Anyways, with a tie game, 8-8 in the top of the 8, Mike Trout does it again. His 2nd homer of the game, a 2-run shot, puts the Angels up. Then in the bottom of the 9th, Trent Grisham, his 2nd homer of the game and the year. It's another 2-run shot. Yankees tie it up 10-10, and then with the bases loaded, Ryan McMahon walks. It's a walk-off walk, 11-10 Yankees. Such an incredible game with 3 multi-homer games, including Trout and Judge. And it ends on a walk, but a very funny game that one was. Going on, Blue Jays and Brewers. Their opener on Tuesday went into extras. Bottom 4, Jake Bauers, a 3-run shot, his 5th of the season. Milwaukee is up. This Blue Jays offense has been struggling, but Jimenez gets a solo shot, his 3rd homer of the season to get them on the board, followed by Dalton Varsho in the next inning at the top of the 6th, his 3rd homer of the season. Brewers up 1 now. Bottom 7, though, it's Gary Sanchez with his 5th homer on the year. It's 4-2 Milwaukee. Top of the 8th, Vladdy will ground out, but a run will come in to score. Blue Jays down 1 entering the last inning, the top of the 9th. And with 2 on, Kazuma Okamoto delivers with an RBI single. It's 4-4. Jimenez then would ground out to score a 5th run. The Blue Jays take the lead, and then Ernie Clement drives in an extra insurance run because you never know. It's 6-4 Toronto. Bottom 9th, they're looking for the save, but they can't find it. Bryce Terang, an RBI single, puts them within 1, and then Brandon Lockridge delivers with a RBI double. And with runners at 3rd and 2nd, the winning runs, Blue Jays would get out of it. We would go to extras where Vladdy would instantly double to put the Blue Jays back within 1, and then with 2 on, Miles Straw delivers a 2-run double. The Blue Jays score 3 in the 10th. Bottom 10, William Contreras will get an RBI single, but that would be the only one. The Blue Jays would hold on to win this one 9-7 in extras. That is halfway through the games of the week here. Let's talk San Diego now because they are playing a hot brand of baseball, the Mariners. They came in off of a 4-game sweep of the Astros and instantly ran into an even hotter team. Top 2nd, Dominic Canzone, a 2-run double gets the Mariners on the board. Top 4, it's Brandon Donovan with a 2-run single. Seattle is up 4. We go top 5, where Luke Raley hits a 2-run homer. It's 6-0 Seattle. All things are pointing in their direction. Padres would get 2 back in the bottom of the 6th. Xander Bogaerts hits his 3rd homer of the season. His 2-run shot makes it 6-2. It would stay this way till the bottom of the 9th. Fernando Tatis would get a sac fly that scores Machado. There's 2 outs in the inning, and it's 6-3 Seattle. Padres proceed to hit and hit and hit. Luis Campusano then singles to get in a run. It's 6-4. Ramon Laureano gets a single. It's 6-5. And then Jackson Merrill, the 2-run walk-off double, all with 2 outs in the inning. An incredible comeback from the Padres. They score 5 in the inning and basically 5 with 2 outs. As they win this one 7-6, the comeback walk-off absolute thriller. How about the Royals and the Tigers? This is the last game on Thursday, the last game of their series here. Spencer Torkelson starts things off in the bottom of the second with an RBI double to get the scoring started. Carter Jensen continues his tear. He gets an RBI single to tie this one up. Bottom four now, Matt Vierling, an RBI single. Tigers retake the lead. Bottom fifth, the Tigers put a stamp on this one for a little bit. Gleyber Torres, an RBI double, followed by Jeremiah Jones with an RBI single. And then Dylan Dingler hits a 2-run homer, his fourth of the year. The Tigers are up 5. It's 6-1. Top six, Salvador Perez, he gets a sac fly. Royals get one back. And then top seven, here comes the Royals. Jack Caglione, an RBI single. Michael Garcia, an RBI single. Bobby Witt, an RBI single. They make it 6-5. And then Salvador Perez says, "Excuse me," and hits a 3-run homer, his third of the year. Royals go from down 1 to up 2. It's 8-6. Bottom 7, Kerry Carpenter gets a sac fly. The Tigers are within 1. Top 9, Vinny Pasquantino, his first homer of the season is an insurance run for the Royals. It's a 2-run lead entering the bottom of the 9th. But the Tigers say, no, 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 we are winning this one. With 2 on, Riley Green delivers a 2-run double to tie this game up at 9. And then Colt Keith delivers the RBI single to walk off this game. The Tigers finish off the sweep of the Royals with a 10-9 victory. That was a very fun one. And for the last one, we're going to the fourth and final game between the Nats and Pirates, as the Nationals would score 3 on a Luis Garcia Jr. infield single force fielder's choice bases clearing, whatever you want to call it. They score 3 runs thanks to an error. Basically, a ball that never left the infield scored 3 runs as Luis Garcia Jr. plates them. He then steals, and then because of an error, he comes in to score. It's 4-0, basically like that. Pirates, though, score 4. O'Neal Cruz, an RBI double for 1, and then Marcelo Zuna, a 3-run homer. And just like that, Pirates are back in this one. Top 6, Joey Wiemer gets the RBI double. Nats retake the lead. Bottom 6, it's the Pirates starting to take the lead as Connor Griffin comes through with an RBI triple to tie the game. Then Nick Gonzalez, the RBI single, and Pirates have the lead. Top 7, though, Jacob Young with the bases loaded, hit by the pitch to make it 6-6. Then a wild pitch scores a run. Washington's up 1 to the bottom of the 9th. Brandon Lau comes through once again. An RBI single ties this game up at 7. We go to extras. James Wood drives in a run for the Nationals. An RBI single makes it 8-7, and they will hold the Pirates. They end up splitting the 4-game set, but this was a thriller as well. 8-7 in extras. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, those were your games of the week. And I mean, the baseball gods just absolutely gave us a week here. Let me read you off some stuff here. We had at least one team with double-digit runs in 8 games, 5 of which happened on Monday. We had 4 extra inning games. We had 5 walk-offs. We had 4 major comebacks, which is 4 more runs in my mind. You had 19 one-run games. You had 5 back-and-forth games, which is at least 3 lead changes for me. And then you had 13 multi-homer games from a player, 9 of which happening on Monday. Heck, you could say 4 of which happened in 1 game alone, 6 of which happened in 2 games between the Diamondbacks Baltimore game as well as the Yankees Angels game with Mike Trout, Judge, Grisham, Jeremiah Jackson, Arenado, and Marte. I mean, that already alone in those 2 games were 6 of the 13 multi-homer games we had this week. But absolutely insane stuff. It was Jackie Robinson Day as well, which is always a great day. We love that. We did have that Giants-Reds bench clearing at the end of the game on Thursday. Nothing crazy. I'm kind of confused by it still. I'm hoping that, John Boy will make a reacts to it, a breakdown. On Wednesday, you had Brubaker and Spencer Steer. They were at the plate, Brubaker pitching. And Steer got a late time call granted to him as Brubaker was about to throw the pitch. He was annoyed for it. So on the next pitch, he waits the entire pitch clock down to 1 second. And then you can kind of see Spencer Steer mouth something to him. It looks like he says, "Pitch the effing ball," as that clock was winding down about the 3-second mark. He then, on that pitch, hit it into left field for a base hit, and nothing else came of it. And then on the Thursday, the first at bat, the first pitch Steer sees is to the back of his jersey there. He gets hit by a pitch on the very first pitch. You can definitely tell that wasn't intentional, but the game kind of went on. Nothing else happened to it. Until the last inning, Eric Miller was getting the save for the Giants. He strikes out Sal Stewart to end this game. He then says something to Stewart, who then barks back at him, and then Eric Miller just starts kind of walking towards the Reds dugout, pointing at a bunch of guys, saying, "Oh, you this," and "Oh, you that." F you and F you, and that causes the benches to clear a little bit, but nothing really came of it. I was kind of confused by it because Sal Stewart has had the Giants number over the series. He had 2 homers. He's up to 7 on the season. Like, he's been very good. Maybe it's just releasing some anger and some frustration for the Giants because their season's been off to a rocky start. I don't know. We also had news that Jorge Soler, in his bigger bench clearing with Ronaldo Lopez, his suspension was reduced from 7 games down to 4. So yeah, big stuff there. Not really. Who cares? Going back to those multi-homer games, 9 of which on Monday, as we mentioned, from the 13 that we had. The record for most multi-homer games in one day was 10, and that was in 2019. Of course, Aaron Judge, Trout, Grisham, Marte, Arenado, Jackson, Kyle Schwarber, Josh Naylor, and Jake Berger. Those are the other 3 guys to go multi-homer games. Let's start talking about Mike Trout, because Mike Trout, man, he had a week to remember, a week to be proud of again. He never lost this, man. Like, this is the Mike Trout that I know. He just doesn't stay healthy, but when he is still an amazing player. I think his injuries have just caused like fans and people in baseball to forget who Mike Trout is. He is still a guy, man. He had 5 homers against the Yankees in these 4 games, 4 straight games with the homer. He had 2 on the first day and then 1 each and every single other game. He makes history becoming the first visiting player at Yankee Stadium to hit 5 homers in a series. I mean, just absolutely insane stuff. Like, Mike Trout is still that guy. His numbers just absolutely took a huge jump forward, huge steps in the right direction. It was also some more history as Mike Trout and Aaron Judge, who are both 3-time MVP winners. It's the first time in over 70 years that 3-time MVP winners had multi-homer games in the same game. The fact that that's happened once before is kind of crazy when you think about it. But, I mean, Mike Trout and Judge putting up a show. Between the two of them, you had over 20 RBIs. You had 9 home runs between Judge and Trout. Trout hitting 5, Judge hitting 4. I mean, you going MVP for MVP, going back and forth. And it was just amazing to watch. And, like, I'm just hoping, and I think all baseball fans are really hoping for this, let's get a healthy Mike Trout. Mike Trout that plays 150-plus games. What will those numbers look like? Because, like, you know, you could view Trout in the category of, like, oh, Clayton Kershaw's and, like, the Justin Verlanders, like, on that different era of the 2010s. You know, now we're in the 2020s. Mike Trout could still do it, man. If Mike Trout can stay healthy, he will finish top 3 in MVP voting. That is what I have to say about that. The question is he able to stay healthy? And everyone is hoping the answer is yes. If you are an MLB pitcher and you listening to this, which I know you're not, because not only does no one listen to this, but there ain't no way an MLB player is listening to this. But stop throwing up and in on Mike Trout. Let him beat you. I'm not saying give him easy home runs, no. But challenge him in other ways, because those up and in fastballs and those up and in pitches that, like, where Mike Trout will struggle is how he gets hit in the shoulders, in the arms, in the fingers, and that's what causes him to get injured every other year. It's awful, but when Mike Trout is Mike Trout, he's doing great things, and we saw that this week, and we'll hopefully continue to see it throughout this season. I don't think there's a baseball fan that wouldn't want to see Mike Trout win an MVP again and Mike Trout be Mike Trout, because, like, he is still that guy, and this week definitely proved it, and hopefully his season will continue to get more and more like that. Moving on here, let's talk about Kevin McGonigle, because he is the latest of the young kids to receive an extension ahead of the CBA talks coming up this year. We've seen this trend, we've seen this pattern, and we might see it from more and more teams. Kevin McGonigle is signing with the Tigers an extension for 8 years, $150 million that will cover his 2027 all the way up to 2034. That will cover his 2 years of pre-arbitration as well as 3 years of arbitration, as well as adding 3 years with the Tigers. So he'll be making 2.75 next year, 8.75 the following year, 17.75, 22.75, 23.75 in 2031. That would be his last year of arbitration. Then the following 3 years in 32, 33, and 34, he'll be making 24.75, just under 25 million in each of those years, causing him to be the free agent in 2035. There are, of course, escalators, as well as little bonuses and stuff that can happen, including MVPs and All-Stars and Silver Sluggers, etc. Some bonus money there for McGonigle, but he is the latest kid to get an extension. He's played in, 15, 16 games the Tigers have played this season so far? But hey, some guys got bags by not even playing an MLB game. McGonigle, so far through, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks of the season, he's looked like he's been that prospect that's been advertised by us. The hitting ability is there, what he can provide to the Tigers offense. He's done plenty of great things so far for the Tigers, including some big clutch hits. He's gotten a home run. And I think he's just getting going here. I'm excited to see what he will do. He's definitely one of those AL rookies in the mix for the Rookie of the Year, so don't count him out, because he is a very good hitter. And we are starting to see that. So congrats to him and his extension. Tigers fans, I know you are probably ecstatic that you're locking up this young kid, because you don't want to end up in a situation with Tarek Skubal like you are probably this year. Anyways, let's move on here. Let's talk about some trending teams in the directions they are going. We look at things right now. Throughout the week, the Astros, after getting swept by the Mariners, they had lost 8 straight. I think that's the most they had lost since 2013, I believe. 8 straight games is a lot. They then proceeded to take 2 of 3 from Colorado to end that, but still, 8's a long. The Brewers, after that game against Toronto, where the Blue Jays came back and eventually won it in extras, that was the Brewers' 6th straight loss. They were struggling. They then proceeded to win the next 2 against the Blue Jays, so they've put that in the rearview mirror. And the Rockies, after getting swept, they ended up in that series with the Astros, where they lost those first 2 games. They had lost 6 straight games before winning that last game of the series, so they can put that streak behind them. But there are some other teams that are still on streaks. The Rays and Tigers are coming off back-to-back sweeps. They have won 6 straight right now. The Rays are the best team in the AL, I believe, as it stands right now, or either them or the Twins. It's been a surprising little run here, but I think the Rays are first in the AL, which, I mean, hey, great start to them, because we talked about the Blue Jays and Yankees and Red Sox and Baltimore and what a bloodbath they would be. We gave some sprinkles to the Rays, but the Rays have come out early here and just taken the AL East, and they've taken the AL, and they're trying to run away with it quickly here. So the Rays and Tigers both putting up 6 straight. The Padres, though, they're the hot team. They needed this against the Dodgers, mind you. They have put up 8 in a row as it stands. That is, I believe, the best we've had all season long, and it only is going to continue. They're in a series with LA this weekend, and actually we've got a really fun game today on Friday. Jose Soriano, who's kind of been breakout candidate number 1. He's been the best pitcher of the year thus far. He's 4-0 with an ERA of 0.33. He's on the mound to face this Padres team, who has won 8 straight. And by the way, Padres have won 8 straight. They're 9-1 in their last 10. The Dodgers are 8-2 in their last 10, and they're still a game and a half above the Padres. The Padres are the hottest team in baseball. They're doing everything right, and they're still second to the Dodgers. That is just absolutely insane stuff. But credit the Padres. On the other end, when the team wins 8, there's usually a team that's losing 8. In this case, it is the New York Mets. They are coming in ice cold right now. They're 5 games back of the Braves for first in that division. They're last in the division. But they've lost 8 straight games. Not fun if you're a New York Mets fan. And they were doing pretty well. They were, I believe, 7-4, and now sit at 7-12. That's math for you. 4 + 8 is 12. So that's the difference there, from 7-4 to 7-12. It's been a rough stretch for hitters. Obviously they lost Soto for a little bit on the IL. Bichette is still tapping in a little bit to that New York field there. Lindor has been very slow to start the year. He got a homer over this week against the Dodgers. Maybe that will help him get going. But yeah, like there's not a day here for the Mets when you look through their games. It's like either their pitching is doing great, but their offense isn't good enough, or they're hitting, they're getting runs, but the pitchers aren't able to hold the other team here. Obviously, the Dodgers are a tough team to go against regardless, but still, you really hope for something here. They are entering a series with the Chicago Cubs, who are starting to find their footing a little bit. I mean, the Cubs are still last in the NL Central, but they're at 9-9. They're at least at 500. Mets are 5 games under 500, so some work to be done there. We'll see how the Cubs handle them this weekend. But Mets lost 8 straight. Padres won 8 straight. Those are some trending teams for you among those other guys here. Last thing to talk about, really, because we're going to keep talking about him for as long as he's, doing what he's doing. Mason Miller and the Padres. I mean, you go on an 8-game winning streak. You got to have some, great offense, some great starters and everything. You got to have a lights-out closer. And Mason Miller, I mean, at this point, I want Mason Miller to win the Cy Young. If he keeps this up, what he's done is absolutely insane. So far for 2026, Mason Miller, 9 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 1 hit, no runs. He's allowed 1 walk, and he has struck out 23 batters. You go back to last year, his scoreless streak is now up to 30.2 innings pitched since he's last given up a run. So far this year, for those 9 1/3 innings, he's faced 28 batters, or he's gotten 28 outs. 23 of them have been via the strikeout, as we mentioned. That's an 82% strikeout rate. He has been the best pitcher in baseball. It hasn't been close. His dominance, if he can keep this up, he needs to be the NL Cy Young. I mean, I know we're only in April, but we could be looking at one of the best relief pitching years since Zach Britton in 2026. You want to go all the way to Eric Gagne in 2003. The last time a relief pitcher won the Cy Young was Gagne that year with the Dodgers. So, I mean, there's crazy stuff going on right now. Shout out Luis Arias. He's the only person to have gotten Mason Miller a hit off of him. So Luis Arias, of course, contact guy, contact hitter. He knows Miller. Of course, they were teammates last year and a couple years before that, but absolutely insane stuff from Mason Miller. That walk, by the way, that was in that first game that he was first game of the season when he walked 1 batter against Detroit. Yeah, he's gotten 28 batters or 28 outs, include the hit and the walk. He's faced 30 batters and he has struck out 23 of them. I mean, he is on another level right now. Do not want to face Mason Miller. If you're playing the Padres, you got to get their pitchers, because otherwise, I mean, you got no shot against Mason Miller. Let's talk about some injury updates here. Harrison Bader is on the 10-day IL with a strained hamstring from the Giants. And then the 3 guys I mentioned last week, or last episode, who left the game on Sunday and didn't have an IL appearance yet, all 3 of them ended up on the IL. Nick Pivetta on the 15-day IL with a strained flexor tendon. Kyle Freeland on the 15-day IL with a shoulder inflammation. And then Christian Yelich on the 10-day IL with a groin strain. Not fun in the slightest. Those are the main ones there. A couple of relief pitchers and other starters kind of ended up on the 15-day IL. Chris Martin from Texas with shoulder impingement. Michael Grove from the Rays, he got shoulder surgery, so not sure on his timetable. Jonathan Canyon from the White Sox, a starter, he has hip inflammation. Cody Bolton for the Astros, mid-back inflammation. Astros lose another one. You had Zach Pop from the Phillies, as well as Jonathan Bolin from the Phillies, both one with a strained groin and one with a strained calf. So yeah, a bunch of relief pitcher injuries and some other guys there, but Bader is the more notable injury update on the IL going into this week here. That brings us now to some outstanding performances from the week here. I will say, with all the amazing games we had this week, there wasn't too many, outstanding performances. You had Nathan Eovaldi, 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. Justin Robleski was pretty outstanding actually against the Mets. 8 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 Ks. But still, for Robleski to go 8 innings is very impressive. Jeffrey Springs continues to be one of the best pitchers of the season thus far. 6 1/3, 3 hits, a run, 2 walks, and 5 Ks. Dylan Cease, nothing crazy dominant, but still 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 3 walks, and 6 Ks to shut down the Brewers. Mick Abel, with probably one of his best starts of his MLB career against the Red Sox, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, while striking out 10. Incredible stuff there. Yoshinobu Yamamoto from the Dodgers, 7 2/3, 4 hits, a run, a walk, and 7 Ks. He was going up against Nolan McLean, who kind of won for one team in 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 8 Ks for the Mets rookie there. Seth Lugo, 6 2/3, 5 hits, a run, no walks, and 7 Ks. Reed Detmers was really good. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 9 Ks. How about Shohei Ohtani? 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 10 Ks. It helps when you're facing a really cold Mets team. But you had Robleski, Yamamoto, and now Ohtani on this list. Spencer Arrighetti from the Astros. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, and 10 Ks. With all their injuries, you definitely need some starts like that. And then how about this pitcher's duel between Landon Rope and Chase Burns from the Giants and the Reds. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I've never actually heard Landon Rope, or is it Roop? I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but he went 6 innings, a hit, no runs, 2 walks, while striking out 6. While his counterpart Chase Burns went 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, a walk, and 4 Ks. Those were your outstanding performances from the week here, which now brings us on to our stat leaderboard. And going through this list here, Andy Pages still leads in average now at 409. He now solo leads in hits at 27. Aaron Judge, with the 4 homers that he hit this week, is now tied with Jordan Walker for 8 on the year. Those are the league leaders in homers, Judge and Walker. Pages, though, leading in RBIs. He's up to 20. Mike Trout, in all the success he had this week, he now leads the league in runs with 21. How about Yordan Alvarez, Mike Trout, Nick Kurtz, and Ivan Herrera, leading the league in walks with 18? I mean, you got 3 potential AL West stars, 3 of the best players in the AL West. And then you have Ivan Herrera from the Cardinals. Very interesting stuff there. O'Neal Cruz has taken back his stolen base lead. He's up to 9 on the season. Yordan Alvarez leading the league in OPS as it stands. 1.214 for him. Already we have a solo league leader in wins with Aaron Ashby with 5 from the Brewers. Jose Soriano, of course, is at 4. If he wins today, he would be at 5 as well. He does lead in ERA, though, the Soriano, with a 0.33. Jacob Mizorowski still leading in strikeouts with 33. And move out the way David Bednar, as dominant as Mason Miller has been. He, of course, needs to now lead the league in saves, as does Paul Sewald. Tied with him, Miller and Sewald, up to 6 saves, both of them. Those are where your stat leaders are for the season so far, through what is now, 3 weeks on the season, I guess. That brings us to the upcoming series from the week. Not the week, the weekend. What's to look forward to this weekend? The Royals are in New York to take on the Yankees. Tigers at Red Sox. The Oilers and the Guardians, they will play 4, I believe. Reds at Twins. White Sox at A's. Padres at Angels. That's a fun one there. Cardinals at Astros. Rangers at Mariners. Someone needs to take over that AL West. Who's it going to be? Giants at Nationals, Braves at Phillies. That's always a big one. That's a fun little circle this series. Brewers at Marlins, Mets at Cubs. Mets need a win. Rays at Pirates. That's a really fun one, actually. Dodgers are in Colorado to take on the Rockies, and the Blue Jays are in Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks. Those are the 15 matchups this weekend, which now brings us to our playoff predictor. How are things looking In terms of the playoffs, right now, the Tigers are your current 6 seed. They would face the Rangers in the 3 seed. The A's in the 5 seed would face the Guardians in the 4 seed for your AL wildcard. And the Tigers and A's both do it on the road. So you have Tigers at Twins in the 2 seed, and then the A's at the Rays in the 1 seed. The Rays beat up on the Athletics, while the Tigers upset the Twins. So you have a 1-seeded Rays team and a 6-seeded Tigers team in your ALCS matchup, and the Rays will ray their way to the World Series. On the NL side, the Diamondbacks currently occupy the 6th seed, while the Pirates occupy the 3 seed, Reds in the 5 seed, and the Padres in the 4 seed. The Pirates beat the Diamondbacks and the Padres beat the Reds. So the NLDS matchups would have your Pirates facing the Braves in the 2 seed, while the Padres would face the Dodgers in the 1 seed. The Pirates will upset the Braves, as will the Padres, as the little brother beats up on the big brother. The NLCS matchup will be your 4-seeded Padres and your 3-seeded Pirates. And the Padres are heading to the World Series. We have a Rays and Padres World Series matchup, and it's the Tampa Bay Rays that are your 2026 World Series champions if the season ended today. This is the 3rd time we've done a playoff predictor, and we've had 21 teams into the playoffs. There's only been 9 teams that have yet to be in a playoff position, which is pretty crazy. I'm not sure how many more will be added, because obviously some of those teams missing are like the Rockies and the White Sox, but some are missing are like the Red Sox. You know, that could be a team that definitely ends up in a playoff position at one point, so that could be really fun to see. But regardless, that is what is going to do it for our episode here today, ladies and gentlemen. We had a sensational week of baseball, and hopefully the weekend continues to provide some A-class baseball games, some more blowouts, some more comebacks, some tight one-run games, some walk-offs, some extras. That's the kind of stuff we love to have when the regular season games feel like they matter, and so far this season it really has felt that way. Everyone has been close. You got teams that get hot, teams that get cold, then vice versa, and it's all kind of in the mix still here, in the middle here. We take a look at MLB wide really quickly here. One last thing before the outro. The Dodgers at 14-4 are in first. The White Sox at 6-13 are in last. That is now a difference of 8.5. So I guess that gap is really starting to grow just a little bit here. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you everybody so much. And I will see you on Monday.